Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Queen Sixtus, and today I have a special guest.
Martin.
Anyways, today we will be diving into a very interesting topic. It's our 5th anniversary. Yes, 5 years married, and we just want to come on here and share marriage lessons that we have learned so far. Are you ready? You want to go first?
In every situation, there's a ladies first.
I just have a couple of lessons I want to share. The first lesson is oneness in marriage. I've been that girl that have my space, do my things, and having to accommodate someone else in my space was something I had to learn. And I understand when people say your money, my money, your space, my space, your room, my room. I understand that part. And I also had to learn to grow from my space to our space, grow from my money to our money. Oh, are you saying grow from my thing to our thing? It's very interesting where even in marriage, relationship, counseling, and all that, you will always hear that over and over again. But the truth of the matter is that when it comes to real life issues, that's when you know if what you have learned in those conferences have actually entered or it's just a head knowledge. That's my first lesson. How to grow from mine to our.
I think my own lesson is learning to be more patient. I've encountered a lot of talk shows. I've listened to sermons. Patient. But like she said, when it comes to doing the thing, especially when it hits you the most, how were you able to handle it? And I think my number one lesson is patient.
Patient in what aspect? Being patient with me?
Patient in all aspects.
Okay.
Because...
Is it being patient with me or being patient in life?
No, be patient with you. It's not in life. It's being patient with you because we don't understand that even in real life situation, when it has to do with organization, we all keep learning every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And learning doesn't just stop. You have to keep learning. And sometimes some processes are a bit very bendy to curve through. But I learned patience, especially during pregnancy. As a man, I learned to hold my congee even when it wasn't easy. But then that was actually the time that one has the opportunity to be able to exercise everything one has learned, most especially in the area of patience. God, scriptures also said it. He said, patience is the key. If you have everything and you don't have patience, at the end of the day, you might still lose something very valuable and very important.
If you let patience have
his full work. And one of the things that actually helped me in that process of patience is I was given a picture of how people patiently mine. He said, when you want to get the best and when you want to get a good or a valuable thing, I said you have to be patient to dig. You keep digging until you arrive at the place you want to get to and you find you get the treasures. Patience is for me.
We listen and we appreciate it. We don't judge here. The second lesson I would say for me is that no matter how good your man is or your husband is, he cannot fill every space and he cannot provide all your needs. Basically, the men are the providers, but there are spaces, there are areas that only God can fill, or there are needs that only God can provide, especially when it comes to you as a person. We are spirit, we have a soul, we live in a body, and then if you now say because your man is a good man, he's kind, he's present, he is this, he is that, and it begins to cut into your intimacy with God or your time with God, you end up realizing the fact that there is those spaces that only God can fill. There are certain needs that your spouse cannot provide. It's only that space is only meant for God, no matter how good, no matter how present, no matter how loving your spouse is. And I think it was after pregnancy, I was in a place where I needed someone to just hold me and just help me keep pushing. He was there, he was available, he was present. But at some point, God had to tickle me. I'm like, oh, girl, you're going too far. This is my space and this is his space. Sometimes there are certain things that we go through in marriage that it could be just God reminding you that your spouse cannot feel it. I still need my space. That's the second lesson for me.
Another lesson that I learned in this course of 5 years is learning to accommodate, no matter how tough it might be. When I mean by learning to accommodate, you might also be going through some stuff, but sometimes when your spouse is going through some stuff, you might just learn how to keep yours aside, embrace hers, and see how you can find a lasting solution to it. Because
that lasting solution.
Because if you don't find a solution to your spouse, there's every tendency that yours might be multiplied. It doesn't really matter what you're facing.
Appreciate.
I learned on how to accommodate no matter how you feel. Sometimes I'll just go to work and I'm back at work. And then every man have expectations of how they want to see, how they want to be received. I had that for a long time until I had to learn on how to adjust. What if you're coming home and something has already transpired at home, and then you are having this expectation that, it should be roses with hugs and
with
stuff.
Roses, really?
One of the greatest lessons for me is that I stopped seeing myself as the provider, in quotes. I started seeing myself as a channel at which God brings in provision to the union and the family, because sometimes this is where most of men miss it.
This is another lesson. You're not mentioning two lessons in one. Okay.
This is where some men miss it, whereby they stand, what else do you want me to do? I give you this, I've given you this, I've given you that, what else do you want me to do? But then if you see yourself as a channel, you will understand also that sometimes you may also falter without you even knowing. And I learned that I am not the provider, but I'm a channel at which God used to provide for the house. I don't take the place of God and I begin to struggle. And I've never struggled since the day I took that step. That's another lesson for me.
Lesson I learned is something I know, but I had to grow in it, is the place of giving grace. Like he said something about accommodating, the place of giving grace, knowing that the same way you are learning some things is the same way your spouse is learning. In every area of life. It could be in parenting, it could be in finance, it could be any area, spiritually, emotionally, just to understand that the same way I am growing, I grow, I learn things every day and I practice it, is the same way my husband is also learning and growing. That expectation of he should know, right? He should know. There are things that I didn't know at the beginning of the marriage, but I have come to learn it because of situations that have come up, things that have happened. It has actually helped me to learn how to give grace, even in those moments where I expect that he should know what to do, or probably he should have done better. If he doesn't do it, I don't see it as a big deal. I don't take offense as long as he acknowledges that it's a learning spot for you. In the beginning, it was tough. You are the man. You are supposed to know, but we are all growing, and it's also, and I think that was one of the things that helped me, especially during the pregnancy journeys, to actually know that you are learning this thing. How about if he doesn't know about these things as well. So when I get information, I share it with you. Things that I learn online, I share it with you. And it's just like we are growing together. And it's not just in pregnancy, but I know we've not been parents before. We've not handled kids before. So this is like our first time being parents. As we're learning, I've also understood that it's good to learn together because the force of two is better. One will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. When both of you are on the same page about a thing, it's better. It's better than having expectations that he should know, and then if he doesn't know, we now get angry or pick offense and stuff like that. You have another lesson?
There's a lot of lessons.
A lot.
Yeah. Another lesson that I learned is never to allow my kids coming between me and my wife. Never. Because I've come to understand that children goes, but my spouse stays. We are in this together. I didn't get married to them, so I got married to my wife. One of the lessons that I've learned is never to allow your kids come in between. It doesn't matter, even though sometimes parents are wrong in some ways about some things. But to be honest, I don't really care if my wife is wrong or not. If it's for me to spank the kids, I spank them as hard as I can to make sure that everybody understands that when my wife says something, it stands. Then we can now sort things out privately. We should have done better and stuff like that.
I think the next lesson for me is don't sweat the small stuff. And by that, when they say choose your battles, I don't agree with that word, but I understand the mindset behind it. I just try to rephrase it. Don't sweat out the small stuff. And I'm going to lay emphasis on this. In the beginning of our union, of our marriage, I always want to prove a point. I always want to show that you married a smart girl. My head is on my neck. That kind of thing. So I say something and he would tell me, no, it is not. And I know it is. And in the beginning, I'll be like, what? But this is what it is. And eventually, if he find out that, okay, what I said was right, and I'll just be fuming. I'm like, so why are you making it look like what I said was wrong? In the beginning, I will always be gingering, trying to prove myself, prove a point. Oh, I'm smart and this is now. No, we're not doing that. Whatever it is, okay? I'm not even cracking my head about anything. As long as I know what I know, there's no need proving anything. And especially there's no need proving to him. Of course, he knows he married a smart wife, so there's nothing to prove to him. There's nothing to prove to him. I don't sweat the small stuff anymore. When it comes to things, there are some things that I say, you say, no, it is not. I was like, okay. I don't even argue anymore. Before, and I will be like, but I don't want to argue. But I'll just try to now, nah, we're not doing that. We're saving energy for the bigger things. Priority have shifted. Imagine after running after two children every day. Priority have shifted. And it's not even about energy, it's just about maintaining your peace. There is no need, because I've also come to learn that it's those little things that the enemy take advantage of and start putting stuff in your mind. Probably, oh, your husband don't rate you or stuff like that. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. He knows he married a smart woman, so there is nothing to prove to him. Whatever gra in the beginning, we have shifted dimension onto bigger things. So I've learned to not sweat the small stuff.
Another lesson for me now, I've shared about many, and that lesson is enjoy every process. Don't take it too hard. Life is not hard. I could remember when our first child came, our first son. It was an easy ride. The boy is so amazing, patient, doesn't disturb. We thought
we are pro-parent.
Yeah, so we are like, that's good. Let's give it another try. When the second one came, it was actually from the labor room that we know that this is an amazing human being coming into the scene. Even the doctor even confirmed to me that this child is different. And honestly, he is different. He's more energetic. He's more determined. I don't know where, I mean, I know where I got that from. That's from my wife anyway.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't negotiate. If I want this, you have to give me that. That's my wife. Yeah, we can't negotiate.
Why are you not saying it's me?
He doesn't negotiate.
But
He's firm. He's firm. And let me use that word. I think that's a better word. He's firm. And sometimes he doesn't want to bend. When he says this, that's exactly what I want. When he came into the scene, it was a little bit challenging. I was trying to do the macho man. At some point, I could remember then in our previous apartment that I broke down because it was just too much on me. And there and then I promised myself, never take life the way it comes. Enjoy it. That's one thing God told me then. He said, enjoy the process, because if you don't enjoy the process, you can't benefit or you can't enjoy the result. And so God told me specifically, he said, enjoy every single process. And since then, it has been amazing. Anything that comes, we could handle it. We could handle it by God's grace. We could handle it by grace. It was pretty much easier. And I think that's another lesson I learned. Enjoy the process. Don't be, life is just one. So enjoy your life. That's it for me.
Okay. So this is going to be my final lesson because this is already getting too long. And I would say that as much as it is in your power, that's what that I've learned. Doing things together helps build the union, doing things together. And there were things that I thought my husband was not interested in doing until one day we were just having a conversation and he just said it. I was like, oh, really? I never knew. I thought like me involving him would be a bother, something like that. But when he said cooking together, I never knew he enjoyed us cooking together. I always think like, this man just came back and let me just allow him to rest. But when he told me that he enjoys when we cook together, I was like, okay. I never knew that. And, just those little things that we do together is actually what helps to strengthen the bond. And the big part of it is communication. Heavy on communication. I know a lot of people say it's a lot of relationship coach, relationship therapies, whatever. But communication is like the bedrock. After God, I think communication and love, which one is?
We communicate a lot.
We communicate a lot. And communication is not just about talking to each other. It's about talking to each other in the language that they understand. Because I can actually be talking to you and I can actually be speaking Igbo to you and you will not understand. But I'm talking to you. Communication is making sure that the person you're speaking to understands. And in those moments where it seems like understanding is not coming, that's where patience comes, and also just talk it through. Any and everything. I love the fact that even before we got married, we could talk about any and everything. Nothing is too ill. We talk about anything. Think about it. We talk about it.
Yeah, think about it.
Whatever you can think about, we talk. Anything. Scripture, politics, fitness, food, business, we talk about everything. And us, because also people talk about every other thing but not themselves. Yeah, I think we talk about ourselves a lot more than we talk about other things, because talking about yourselves help you see areas that you need to improve and develop, and things that you actually doing, you think you're doing well, but to the other person, you remember the day we talked about the end of year, this thing we did.
Retreat.
Not the retreat. Before the retreat.
Review.
The end of year review. And you're asking me what is love language?
Was like necessary.
I couldn't believe that I have married this man for 3 years and he doesn't know what love language is. So yeah, that's why communication is necessary. But you know my love language now.
You're learning it.
So we have come to the end of this conversation, and we hope that you pick one or two things from what we shared. And even if you did not pick anything, we hope that you enjoyed our conversation. And please subscribe if you have not subscribed. Support your girl. And if you want him back, let me know in the comments and let us know what you want us to talk about again. Till I come your way again, keep shining forth and stay blessed.